Hey everyone, you're watching We Had That, and today I'm going to talk about the 1984 Secret Wars Captain America action figure from Mattel. By 1984, Mattel had a big hit with their Masters of the Universe toy line, but they were looking for the next big thing. Mego, who had been making action figures of DC and Marvel characters throughout the 70s and early 80s, had gone out of business earlier in the decade. That meant the licenses for DC and Marvel were open to new toy possibilities. Kenner ended up working with DC for their Superpowers action figure line and corresponding comic book series. Mattel approached Marvel with the idea of a toy and comic book crossover, which would all be based on a huge event in the Marvel comic books universe that could help promote the new toy line. According to Toy Legend, and also mentioned by Marvel editor-in-chief at the time, Jim Shooter, a Mattel focus group determined that kids liked the words secret and war, so Mattel insisted that the toy line and corresponding comic book series have the title Secret Wars. Mattel also wanted Doctor Doom to look less medieval and more high-tech. But one of Mattel's biggest requirements was that the comic book had to include fortresses, vehicles, and weapons that could be made into toys and sold at a higher price point than the figures themselves. The first wave of figures included 8 action figures, 4 superheroes, Captain America, Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Wolverine, and 4 supervillains, Doctor Doom, Magneto, Kang, and Dr. Octopus. Marvel and Mattel promoted the toy line heavily in comic book ads and toy commercials, and judging from how many of these figures I've seen for sale recently, I'm guessing that Mattel sold a lot of them. The Secret Wars comic book was a 12-issue miniseries written by Jim Shooter himself that would last for the entire year. The basic premise of the series was that a cosmic being called the Beyonder took a group of heroes and a group of villains and put them on a planet together and pretty much told them to fight it out. Captain America played an important role in this story because he was the one that all of these amazing superheroes agreed should lead the team. Although not everyone agrees with me, I think the comic book was actually pretty decent. Even though the series was met with mixed reviews, these were some of the best-selling comic books of their time. There were also several changes in the Marvel Universe that happened in these 12 issues. The Thing became able to change back into Ben Grimm and decided to stay behind when the rest of the heroes returned to Earth. She-Hulk temporarily took his place in the Fantastic Four. Colossus broke up with Kitty Pryde, and probably most importantly, issue number 8 of Secret Wars was the first appearance of Spider-Man in his black costume. Despite a lot of kids apparently reading these comics, I'm not sure that anyone at Mattel read them because there were some strange choices made with the toy line, including the choice of characters they turned into action figures in the second wave. I think the biggest odd choice that Mattel made was in the toy line's gimmick: superhero shields with lenticular panels. Each figure came with a shield and several different pieces of cardboard that could be inserted into the shields, which would then change image as you tilted the shield. All of the good guys had a round red shield, and all of the bad guys had a square gray shield. Even though in the comic book, Magneto was included by the Beyonder with the good guys team, the Magneto action figure came with a square gray bad guy shield. I can't remember ever seeing most of these characters use a shield in comic books or on the cartoons, and definitely not in the Secret Wars comics. I have seen Spider-Man make a shield out of webbing on several occasions, but Mattel didn't give Spider-Man a web shield, he just had the same round red shield that the rest of the good guys had. Anyway, giving these lenticular shields to the figures never made any sense to me, but for the most part, it didn't really matter. As a kid, you open up the package, you throw the shield in a box, and you forget about it. However, that wasn't so easy with Captain America. Even as a kid in the 80s, I always thought of Captain America's shield as being one of his defining characteristics. Spider-Man had his webs, Iron Man had his suit, Wolverine had his claws, and Captain America had his mighty shield. However, this shield didn't look like Captain America's shield, and that was just frustrating to me. In some instances, I can see the argument that toy designers aren't familiar enough with the character, so they don't really get it right. But come on, this is Captain America. Even if you know nothing about him, every image on the lenticular pieces that kids were supposed to put in Cap's shield had a picture of what the shield should have looked like. Even the art on the back of the package showed Captain America using his normal shield in a little comic strip. It does at least show him look at a secret message on the inside of his shield in one panel, but even then, it's on the back of his regular shield. Aside from his shield, I thought Mattel actually did a good job on this Captain America figure. Mego's 8-inch Captain America action figure from the 70s had been designed very poorly, with Mego getting the costume wrong in so many ways. They had also made Captain America figures in scale with Star Wars figures, and they weren't bad, but they were just too cheaply made to really get the details down. Mego had a pretty good 12-inch figure, except the head was huge for his scrawny body. With the previous Captain America figures in mind, I think the Secret Wars Captain America is pretty cool for a figure that came out in the 80s. Although each figure in the first wave had a unique head sculpt, Mattel saved money by reusing body parts from figure to figure. However, on Captain America, they paid the extra cost to make a unique mold for his legs to give him his proper cuffed boots. So aside from the shield, I have no complaints about this figure. In fact, I thought Mattel did a good job on Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Iron Man too. Dr. Octopus wasn't bad, but his tentacle arms were so fragile that it's difficult to find a loose figure today that isn't broken and missing the tentacles. I'm not sure why they didn't give Magneto or Dr. Doom capes, but I guess it was probably a little bit more expensive, and so they did it to cut costs. Kang seemed like kind of a strange choice for the line, since he's never really been as famous as the other 7 figures in Wave 1. Then again, with the exception of Spider-Man in his new black costume, I don't think any of the Wave 2 Secret Wars figures were even in the Secret Wars comic books at all. All in all, despite their goofy shields, I think Mattel's Secret Wars line is a pretty cool line, and this version of Captain America is easily my favorite version from the 80s. Despite the possible flaws, Secret Wars was a big step forward for toys based on the Marvel Universe and provided a lot of kids with their first action figures for many of their favorite Marvel characters. What do you think of the Secret Wars toys? Were they awesome action figure representations of your favorite Marvel characters, or a cheap second-rate superpowers wannabe? Tell me in the comments below. Also, please give this video a like and share it on social media. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notifications bell so that you'll be notified when I post new videos. And one last thing, if you're a fan of toys, you should know about ToyLanta, the biggest toy show in the southeastern United States, held just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Visit ToyLanta.com for more information. As always, thanks for watching.